Hello and welcome to this video. In my last video, I explained what is SAP. In this video, I am going to focus on what exactly is SAP S/4HANA and how it is different from the other ERPs or other products that SAP was developing till now. Mainly focusing on what is the difference between SAP ECC and SAP S/4HANA. So in my last video, I explained SAP is a ERP software, which means it helps the organizations in integrating their business processes. So if the organization is using different softwares till now in order to manage different departments, using SAP as a ERP product, all the different departments of the organizations can use a single software to cater to the requirements or to manage their business processes in one single software. Now, SAP is developing this ERP softwares from long, and the first popular version was SAP R/3. In 2005, SAP came up with SAP ECC. In SAP ECC, there were some improvements made on SAP R/3. For example, the features like new GL accounting, the features like real-time integration with FI and CO, these were some of the activities which were introduced in SAP ECC. And that was launched in 2005. Now, in 2015, SAP came up with SAP S/4HANA. And the reason for coming up with the new product was there were some challenges which the customers were facing in SAP ECC. Now we will try to highlight what were the challenges and due to which SAP came up with SAP S/4HANA. Number one challenge was due to the increase in the number of transactions, customers were finding slowness in their ERP system. So whenever they were doing some transactions, whenever they were generating the reports, there was a slowness in the system. That was the reason the users were not able to generate the reports on time. And that is where exactly SAP came up with a new database called as SAP HANA. SAP HANA provides the speed, which means it is now faster to perform your day-to-day transactions and your reports. So number one benefit of SAP S/4HANA is because it is using SAP HANA database, the transactions and reportings can be performed faster. The second benefit of SAP S/4HANA is SAP Fiori. SAP Fiori is a new user interface which will allow to do the transactions in the simpler manner. In ECC, we were using SAP GUI. With SAP GUI, we used to remember the transaction codes to perform the transactions, and those screens were not very easy to use for the new employees who are joining the organization. With SAP Fiori, it becomes easier even for a newcomer to understand how Fiori works and to perform the day-to-day transactions. On top of that, Fiori also allows you to do the transactions from any device. For example, you can do the transactions from your tabs, your mobile devices. It is not necessarily needs to be done through the computers or laptops. The third benefit of SAP S/4HANA is the simplified business processes. When I say simplified business processes, it means there are some improvements made in the functional topics within SAP S/4HANA. For example, there are some improvements done within finance, there are some improvements done within materials management, there are some improvements done within sales and distribution, and there are many improvements which are happening in the advanced topics or advanced modules within SAP S/4HANA. With these improvements, it is now possible for the organizations to save time during their day-to-day and the month-end activities. For example, the reconciliation process, which used to take 5 to 10 days at every month-end, now can be performed within 1 or 2 days. There are some other reconciliation activities which were taking a lot of time earlier. Now there are many reconciliation activities which are not required because of the real-time integration between different modules. And the fourth benefit of SAP S/4HANA is its implementation methodology. So for a new customer who is implementing SAP S/4HANA for the first time, if you compare the timeline which used to take for SAP ECC implementation, SAP S/4HANA implementations would be implemented faster, and that is because of the new methodology called as SAP Activate. With SAP Activate, there are a lot of improvements in the way how you implement the SAP systems. The fifth benefit of SAP S/4HANA is SAP S/4HANA comes in different editions. So you can go for SAP on-premise edition or you can go for SAP on cloud edition. SAP on-premise edition is similar to SAP ECC, in which you need to buy the hardware. As a customer, you need to buy the hardware and the software will be provided by SAP. In case of SAP S/4HANA Cloud, you don't need to purchase any hardware. You can just go for the subscription basis and you will be start using the SAP S/4HANA Cloud system, which includes the base business practices. I have a separate video on the difference between on-premise and on-cloud. If you want to go for it, you can just go through this link. So these were some of the improvements between SAP ECC and SAP S/4HANA. I hope you understood what exactly is SAP S/4HANA in this video. In my next video, I'll talk about what are the different type of projects in SAP S/4HANA. Thank you.